Fox News host Chris Wallace had challenged Joe Manchin, who was refusing to support filibuster reform, to pass a voting rights bill and other Biden administration policies. So now what's really interesting about this is that it's Chris Wallace and Fox News that's actually calling out Joe Manchin. In fact, look, take a look.
The question I have is whether or not, and you say you hope that that'll bring the parties together. The question I have is whether or not you're doing it exactly the wrong way. And hear me out on this. If you were to keep the idea that maybe you would vote to kill the filibuster, wouldn't that give Republicans an incentive to actually negotiate? Because old Joe Manchin's out there, and who knows what he's going to do by taking it off the table. Haven't you empowered Republicans to be obstructionists?
I don't think so, because we have 7 brave Republicans that continue to vote for what they know is right and the facts as they see them, not worrying about the political consequences.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. No, the correct answer is yes, you have empowered Republicans. I'm not saying that he had to go and vote to blow up the filibuster, but immediately he came out and said, no, I'm not going to do anything about the filibuster. Now, what is that? What message does that send to the Republicans? He's not going to do anything, so of course we can block him. We don't have to negotiate because he's not going to do anything. That's it. We're just going to continue to block the Democrats as we plan to do all along, because we know Joe Manchin is going to not fight back. He's never going to get rid of the filibuster. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. So remember, Mitch McConnell has openly admitted his only priority, his number one priority, just like it was back during the Obama administration, to prevent Biden from doing anything of substance. And I mean anything, whether it be milquetoast or weaker COVID relief, the $2 trillion in COVID relief. Republicans still blocked that. Even though Biden, and I was saying, don't reach out to Republicans. Don't reach out to Republicans. People need aid now. Just go through reconciliation. He still reached out to Republicans, and they slapped his hand away every single time. Well then, all right. I guess we're just going to move on without you. But no, they haven't learned their lesson. Maybe Biden is starting to, but it doesn't matter, because guess what? Joe Manchin is the guy who is making sure that Republicans will continue to win over and over and over again by, Democrats not being able to get voting rights bills done. And by the way, the fact that you have 7 Republicans who you say vote for the right things, well, guess what? That doesn't mean a goddamn thing. Why? Because you need 10. If you don't have 10, if you don't have enough to beat a filibuster, then you don't have anything. You have less than nothing. And in theory, it should be easier in a situation where you have a 50-50 split, with the vice president, of course, being the tiebreaker, to actually get things done. You would have to, again, destroy the filibuster, and then you would have a simple majority. Well, there you go. It's so much easier to do that than to try to get 10 Republicans on board things that they don't support. But Wallace, he's not done. And it's weird, because I got to give Chris Wallace credit, because he's like, why don't you just destroy the filibuster? Like, why are you trying to make this argument when they're going to block you no matter what? And it gives example, a really good example.
Let's just take the idea of creating a 9/11 commission to investigate the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. Republicans blocked that. Senator McConnell, the head of the Republicans in the Senate, says that he's 100% focused on blocking the Biden agenda. Question, aren't you being naive about this continuing talk about bipartisan cooperation?
I'm not being naive. I think he's 100% wrong in trying to block all the good things that we're trying to do for America. We get a lot better if we have participation, and we're getting participation, but when it comes time to final vote, And I disagree with Leader McConnell on this, the minority leader on this issue, that he puts politics before the policies that I think we need for our country. I'm going to continue to keep working with my bipartisan friends, and hopefully we can get more of them. I can tell you this, in 2013, at that time, Harry Reid, the leader of the majority party, the Democrats, basically the nuclear option, which did away with the filibuster on appointments and district and circuit judges. Come back to 2017, then we had Leader McConnell at that time in the majority, and he did away with it for the Supreme Court. So what goes around comes around here. They all understand that, and there were 33 Democrats in 2017 that signed a letter to please save the filibuster and save our democracy. That's what I'm trying to do.
I'm going to try to save democracy by letting Republicans destroy it. But don't worry, I'm not naive. Oh, no, I'm not naive at all. Even though I know 100% that Mitch McConnell wants to block everything that we do. Okay, then why are you still saying, don't worry, we can be bipartisan? They've already admitted that they're not going to work with you no matter what. And yet you're still saying, well, but don't worry, I can work with them. I can work with them. I can work with them. No, you're complicit in the destruction of democracy. If you're not part of the solution, at this point, you're part of the problem. Already, they have tried to reach out to Republicans. They're not at all interested. Again, Republicans were behind the January 6th Capitol insurrection. They tried to take over to prevent the certification in order to keep Donald Trump in office. What are you talking about? They're not interested in bipartisan solutions. They hate you. They don't hate Joe Manchin. In fact, they love Joe Manchin. They love what he's doing. They're happy that he's blocking Democrats. They're happy that he is blocking voting rights, an expansion of voting rights. They're happy that Manchin is allowing them to abuse Senate rules. So, and why would they work with him, though? They won't. They won't. Look, understand that, like, if we had a functional, good faith conservative party, which we do, it's the Democratic Party, you could actually do some bipartisanship. I know, but it doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist in the current party structures. It doesn't exist. The Republican Party is a party of QAnon and insurrection, and that's it. When Republican leaders are saying that it doesn't matter what you bring to the table, we will reject it. We've even rejected our own plans. By the way, if you go back during the Obama administration, when they talked about bipartisan immigration reform, they tanked their own bills on purpose. On purpose. That's a pretty clear sign that bipartisanship is dead. And they don't want to get anything done because guess what? It always comes down to elections. It always comes down to, we're going to make sure that Democrats get nothing done so that we can run the fact they got nothing done and then get back into power. And guess what? We're going to cut taxes. We're going to do deregulation. And that's it. That's what we do. That's our entire purpose right now as a party, to funnel money to the rich. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.